Okay, guys, so yesterday we kind of went over a different style build that we could use instead of the Arachyr set, and I promised we would get back to that set. And sure enough, today we have. I've used some pretty serious modification. If you look, just about everything I'm wearing has been modified by that enchantress, which means I have tweaked a lot to get this stuff up. Now, what that also means is that I'm looking at somewhere in the realm of 770,000 health, which is pretty nice, and we're looking at a base level of 888,000 damage per second, which is some serious damage, which means we have bumped up to Torment 11. So I'm going to go and show some of the stuff that I've done. I've increased my life on just about everything that I could get my hands on, or I've added a socket to things I needed to change. I also went ahead and stacked up the Lakumba's ornament and that kind of thing, and the Bakuli jungle wraps are ramping up my fire damage, and anything with locust swarms is getting just absolutely nuked. So I'm throwing that locust swarms as fast and furious as possible. I've also added a convention of elements to this build, which means that what I'm going after is some pretty serious damage every few seconds. So with this being physical, with this being fire, with everything else, you've got this being poison, you've got this being cold, that kind of thing. No matter what time this has come around to, I'm going to be doing some pretty serious bursty damage. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Otherwise, we're still running the exact same skill tree that we were before. We're Spirit Walk to gain our mana back. Soul Harvest is going to have everything on it, and we're going to be stacking that up to 10 times. Hex is going to be there to give us the survivability because it is going to ramp up how much health we get, but it's also going to keep guys turning into little sheep out there, and it's going to give us 15% additional damage done to them. The Haunt is going to be just flying every which way, returning everything to us for mana, which is something we are desperately going to need because our main attack is a secondary, which is Fire Bat. So we're just going to be hitting a huge circle around us with Fire Bats constantly. For passives, we are still running Creeping Death, Spirit Vessel, Grave Injustice, and Confidence Ritual. It's a pretty nasty build. Last time I showcased it, we took it out on a 40 Greater Rift. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop all the way down to 55. So by just taking our stuff over to the Enchantress for the most part, tweaking that and adding a couple of extra items, we've gained 15 levels onto Torment 12 from Torment 9, I want to say 40 is. Yeah, 40 is Torment 9. We're going all the way to Torment 12. So we're going to have a go at this. I'm going to fast forward it as I always do, and I'm going to let you guys just watch this build in action. Okay, so as you can see, that run was incredibly successful. I barely even had to slow down. Basically, you run in, and as soon as you could throw that locust swarm on an enemy, you throw it on the enemy. A lot of times, I'll use Spirit Walk to actually position myself in the middle of a pack, whereas before I was using it as a very defensive move. Now I want to use it as a very offensive move because with the skills we're taking, specifically the this one right here, Grave Injustice. With that 1 second when an enemy dies within 20 yards of us, if I can use my Spirit Walk to get me into the middle of, I don't know, 10 guys, then I can just run in, pop those 10 guys because I've got a Locust Swarm on them, and then I can just absolutely crush them down. So that's the biggest goal of this one, is to get as many guys together as close as possible and then literally sprint into the middle of them with that Locust Swarm on them, with that Haunt, with that Hex. Go ahead and pop your Soul Harvest so that you are just borderline invincible, and then just spin to win. So this is the Witch Doctor form of the Barbarian as far as I could tell. It is just a spin to win build. You are taking greatly reduced damage. You're pumping out tons of damage, and your health bar doesn't even really matter. There were a few times I got a little low, but other than that, it was a pretty carefree run at Torment 12 at a Greater Rift 55. I have taken this as high as 70 with some support, but it runs pretty well and it pumps out a lot of damage. All you have to do at this point is ramp up that survivability and just get your mechanics down a little bit better, and this build will only continue to climb. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Next time I'm going to be trying to experiment with another set, just kind of messing around a little bit. Either that or I'll see if I can get this thing up over 60. Either way, we're going to have some fun. Tomorrow, Friday afternoon, are our Follower Fridays. So on the live stream, we'll actually be playing some Heroes of the Storm, which I am terrible at. So if you're bad at it, don't be afraid. Come on in and join me. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be doing that every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So thank you guys so much for your support. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.